Lando Norris has no regard for Max Verstappen's safety, and he says that we should expect to see more crashes between them on his mission to snatch the title from the Dutchman. All bets are off as the McLaren star is breathing down Verstappen's neck, and Lewis Hamilton, of all people, thinks he can pull it off. Let's talk about it in today's video. Don't go anywhere. Lando Norris expects the competition with reigning champion Max Verstappen to heat up even more on the track. The two drivers' title favourites have had a well-documented friendship off the track, recently saw their relationship come under scrutiny after several heated on-track battles. One intense moment was during the final laps of this year's Austrian Grand Prix, where they collided while battling for the lead. Since then, Norris has been driving clean, but if the situation calls for it, he's made it clear he won't back down. In an exclusive interview with Racing News 365, Norris mentioned that he won't give Verstappen any special treatment just because they often play paddle or travel together. He said, "I couldn't care less if I played paddle with someone last week or went out for dinner with someone. It doesn't change what I want to do on track, which is to win. If anything, it makes you want to beat them more rather than less. For me, it's just two different worlds and what I do away from a track. It's a different life. It's a different mentality. I don't even use the same brain here versus what I'm thinking during the race when I got my helmet on. How I act and the people I'm with away from the track couldn't be any further apart from my mentality of being a racing driver and being inside the car." While giving his thoughts on how racing incidents like the one in Austria is unavoidable, Norris sent out a threat to the rest of the grid, Max Verstappen especially. He said, "I expect to crash more in the future with different people, with Max. Not because it's an expectation of I expect to crash with them, it's just those scenarios and circumstances always happen. With another 5 or 10 years in F1, you're going to have those situations at some point." Lando Norris's hostility isn't just limited to Max Verstappen, though. He also seems to have no respect for Lewis Hamilton, as he has been discrediting the Formula One legend's accomplishments for years now. The McLaren driver's comments on Sir Lewis have been gaining traction online these past few days, showing a track record of downplaying the 7-time champion's success. When Hamilton equalled Michael Schumacher's record for most wins in Formula One history, Norris said, "He's in a car that should win every race, basically. He has to beat one or two other drivers, that's it." And just last year, Norris doubted Hamilton's racecraft, saying that he would have no success if he started his career in today's McLaren. Lewis Hamilton came into McLaren when they were winning championships and winning races, and from the beginning, that makes you look good. If he came into McLaren now, he wouldn't have won a race and he wouldn't have been anywhere near the driver he is today or achieved what he has today. Despite this, Lewis Hamilton believes in the youngster. According to him, both Mercedes and McLaren could mount a title challenge in the second half of the season, especially given Sergio Perez's recent struggles at Red Bull. Heading into the summer break, the Silver Arrows were riding high after securing 3 wins in 4 races. George Russell clinched victory in Austria. Lewis Hamilton won the British Grand Prix, and then took top honours in Belgium following his teammates' disqualification. Mercedes' 3 wins were sandwiched around Oscar Piastri's victory in Hungary, McLaren's second win of the season. This marked the 9th consecutive race where a McLaren driver was on the podium, a streak that extended to 10 races with a podium finish in Belgium. Red Bull last topped the podium with Max Verstappen's win at the Spanish Grand Prix on June 23rd. Despite Mercedes and McLaren's recent resurgence, Verstappen still holds a big lead over his closest rival, Lando Norris, in the drivers' standings. There's a growing problem for Red Bull. While Verstappen has been consistently scoring points, he's received minimal support from Perez, who hasn't made it to the podium since the Miami sprint race. Despite signing a 2-year extension just 3 months ago, Perez's performance has dropped sharply. Hamilton, who will join Ferrari next season, thinks Perez's current struggles might allow Red Bull's rivals to close the gap even more. He said, "It is not impossible, but it is a huge, challenging task, but absolutely not impossible. They've got 2 very strong drivers that are able to compete against, ultimately currently in the championship, one car that's really up there doing a lot of the points scoring on the other side. So they've got something they can work with there, for sure." While Hamilton believes the Constructors' Championship is still up for grabs, he admits that Verstappen remains the clear favourite to keep hold of the driver's title. When asked about Norris's chances of defeating Verstappen, this is what he had to say. "I think there was a time I was here where I was 40 or something points behind. 70 is a big number when you're against a car that is probably very, very close to a 100% record. Earlier this week, McLaren CEO Zak Brown hinted that Red Bull's quest for a third consecutive Constructors' title might be in jeopardy from their rivals. McLaren hasn't won the Constructors' Championship since 1998, but Brown is confident that his team can mount a serious challenge in the second half of the season. Brown told BBC Sport, "It's going to be tough. I think it's going to come down to the last race. There's not much between the cars. It's going to come down to how does Sergio Perez perform. If he can perform as he's capable of performing, it's going to be a hard fight. If he continues to perform as he has this year, we have a pretty good chance because we have two drivers constantly performing at the front." Zak Brown has opened up about the pressure Lando Norris is facing in his quest for a first Formula One title. In an interview with Sky Germany, McLaren's team principal supported his star driver's ability to recover and acknowledged the heavy weight of expectations on his shoulders. "Yeah, well, he's trying to track down Max," said Brown. "It comes with a lot of pressure. I've not spoken with him yet, so I don't know exactly how he feels. I've not seen his interviews, but we know Lando is pretty critical of himself, so I'm sure he'll be grumpy that he made that mistake at the start. But he makes very few mistakes and gets it very right, so we're right there with him." McLaren and Norris have faced criticism for missing out on potential victories, with the driver's poor start from pole position in Spain being seen as a major missed chance. And now Norris himself has pointed to the races in Canada, Britain and Hungary as ones he wishes he could revisit and alter. He said, "From the racing point of view, there have definitely been moments that I would like to reverse where I wanted to do a little bit better. Probably not as many as you would think, but definitely certain ones. Probably Hungary, Canada and Silverstone. In Canada, I had a chance to win, but people don't understand how fast Mercedes was that weekend. They should have taken the easiest 1-2 of the whole year. But they didn't. We missed the chance to fight for the win, instead of saying we lost the win. At Silverstone too, I lost the chance to fight for victory because I was much slower than Lewis Hamilton. As I said then, even if I had come on track after the final pit stops, ahead of Lewis, I still wouldn't have won the race. That's a pretty important point that not many people know. He was much faster, and the tyre wear was much better than ours on the soft tyre. Lewis and George Russell were just a bit more out of the way of Oscar Piastri and myself. It looked like they were a little bit ahead of us." Norris admitted that his poor starts in Spain and Hungary, where he lost the lead to Piastri at the first corner, cost him 2 victories. But he emphasised that his improved performance level compared to 2023 is more significant to him than his results in 2024. He said, "With my starts in Barcelona and Hungary, I potentially lost 2 wins. That's a bigger loss than in Canada or Silverstone. There I was fast enough to win. We were faster than Max in the race and I lost the position to do that from my side. There have been a few instances, but fewer than people would think from the outside. But overall, I feel I have been a much better driver this year than last year. That is the most important thing for me." Right now, the McLaren driver is 78 points behind Verstappen in the standings. With just 10 races left, he needs to take advantage of Verstappen's recent struggles, having gone winless in the last 4 races. If Norris can apply the lessons learned from their on-track battles, there's a chance he could close the gap in the championship. All that said, is Lando Norris's competitiveness turning into delusion, or can he actually win it all this year? Tell us what you think in the comments section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.